Some more about Othello. A review on Shakespeare's Othello by David Maynard, period 5. Some things you should know. Othello, a black high-ranking military official and newlywed, promotes Cassio as his right-hand man. Iago, jealous over Cassio's promotion, seeks to ruin Othello, Cassio, Othello's wife Desdemona, and anyone who crosses his path, and will stop at nothing until his foes are utterly destroyed. Shakespeare's devices. Irony. I know thou art full of love and honesty, and weighest thy words before thou givest them breath. Othello to Iago. The only all-knowing character in the play is Iago, as he is the orchestrator of chaos and destruction. The other characters, subdued by Iago's wit and charm, are often found exclaiming facts that are the exact opposite of the truth, providing the viewer with the information necessary to understand the magnitude of Iago's success, as well as adding some comedic value. Shakespeare's devices. Oxymoron. Excellent wretch, furnish me with some swift means of death for the fair devil. Iago, a two-faced man, lives a deceptive life, but mostly flies under the radar. Like an oxymoron, he contradicts himself and isn't caught until after he's caused confusion. Over time, Iago gains more and more influence over the other characters. As his plot unfolds, the other characters begin to do his bidding, and their speech even reflects that fact. In these examples, Othello is shown to be perfectly deceived by Iago's schemes in both thought and speech. Shakespeare's devices. Imagery. An old black ram is topping your white ewe. Your daughter covered with the Barbary horse. Your daughter and the Moor are now making the beast with two backs. This kind of imagery, used by Iago, shocks the audience as much as it shocks Brabantio, Desdemona's father. It's vivid and detestable, and it associates Othello's race with animal savagery. Even before the audience meets the actual Othello, they are poisoned with these images. The noble Othello contrasts so starkly with the animal imagery that the audience can't help but notice Iago's cunning and dedication to deception. Shakespeare's devices. Symbolism. Have you not sometimes seen a handkerchief spotted with strawberries in your wife's hand? The handkerchief is a symbol of Othello's love for Desdemona and for their marriage as a whole. It is frequently used as the cover artwork for Othello publishing for its infamy. Everything from its color, white with red strawberries, to its meaning in the Renaissance culture, symbolizes another aspect of Desdemona, Othello, or the relationship. Its loss in the middle of the play symbolizes the loss of marriage and trust between the two. On top of all of this, the handkerchief is a plot device as well, with functionality for Iago's master plan acting as ocular evidence for Desdemona's lack of loyalty. Connecting the dots. A similar jealousy between culture groups is seen in the Kite Runner. Members of the majority ethnic group, Amir and Iago, are envious of members of the minority ethnic group, Hassan and Othello, because in part they feel like those of the lower class should not have more than themselves. Desdemona and Othello have a discussion about when next to meet each other, but in reality it is a discussion of power, similar to the discussion in Hills Like White Elephants and the excerpt from Middlemarch, where couples talk about a physical matter but have impact more on a social power level. Locations. Venice, Italy. A large, wealthy city known for its canals and prostitutes. It was the capital of a large sea empire in and around the 16th and 17th centuries. These attributes and the fact that Venice was inhabited by Europeans made it the perfect location for Othello to have his great downfall. Cyprus. An island in the eastern part of the Mediterranean Sea, south of Venice. When the characters of Othello move to Cyprus, order and rational thinking are put aside to leave room for chaos and confusion. Cyprus is also the island of love, making it an especially ironic place for Othello's love to dissolve. Favorite pieces of text. A great arithmetician, one Michael Cassio, a Florentine, never set a squadron in the field, nor the division of a battle knows more than a spinster, unless the bookish theoric. Do not think, gentlemen, I am drunk. This is my ancient. This is my right hand, and this is my left. I am not drunk now. This did I fear. but thought he had no weapon, for he was great of heart. Poor Cassio's smiles, gestures, and light behavior, quite in the wrong. I like these pieces of text evidence because they all deal with Michael Cassio, my favorite character. He's just really, 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 really cool. So yeah. Observations. Othello and Desdemona display a very strong bond and appear to be a reliable and trustworthy couple near the beginning of the play. Yet it doesn't take much for Othello to go completely mad with jealousy. His honor and pride are envied, yet cause his very downfall. Every woman, arguably including Bianca, acts very strong and noble, while each male counterpart has a serious mirrored flaw. In addition, the greater the male's flaw, the greater the woman's strength. Opposites really do attract. Final thoughts. I enjoyed reading Othello, and it's become one of my favorite Shakespeare plays, above Romeo and Juliet, but I can't decide between Julius Caesar, Much Ado About Nothing, and Othello to be my favorite. I love Cassio. I'm very fortunate to have read his part. He's just awesome. My biggest complaint is about Iago. I can't seem to understand why he went to such lengths for such a lousy job. He is really a cool villain, and his scheme deserves props, but his motivation simply does not line up. Really, it's a shame. Thank you, Shakespeare.